Hi guys, welcome back to our series for NEET Preparation 2026. Today we are going to cover all the important conceptual questions in one go, as last year two questions came from them. You're going to understand the approach to solve these questions. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question over here is a diploid cell in G1 phase contains 12 picogram, that is Pg of DNA. How much DNA will be present in the same cell during prophase of mitosis? Okay, and the options are 6 pg, 12 pg, 24 pg and 48 pg. So according to you guys, what should be the answer? The answer is C, that is 24 pg. Why so? Because DNA replication occurs during the S phase, doubling the amount from 12 pg to 24 pg before the cell enters the mitotic phase. Okay, so these are basically the conceptual questions. So these are basic concepts that you need to remember, so as to whenever you read this question, your mind doesn't have to think. Okay, so this is how you're going to save time in these questions, so that you can use this saved time in solving questions in your physics and chemistry. Okay, now next question is, a germline cell has a DNA content of C units during the G2 phase. What will be the DNA content of each resulting daughter cell after the completion of meiosis 2? Okay, now again this is a conceptual question. So the answer is 0.25 C. Why so? The DNA is already double, that is 2 times the original diploid amount. Meiosis 1 reduces this to the original diploid amount 0.5 C relative to G2, and meiosis 2 reduces it again to the diploid amount, that is 0.25 C relative to G2. Okay. Next question, a species has a diploid chromosome number of 2n is equals to 16 during pectine of prophase 1. How many total bivalents and how many total chromatids are present in the cell? So the options are 16 bivalents and 32 chromatids, 8 bivalents and 32 chromatids, 8 bivalents and 16 chromatids, and 16 bivalents and 64 chromatids. So the answer is B, that is 8 bivalents and 32 chromatids. A bivalent is a pair of homologous chromosomes. If 2n is equals to 16, there are 8 pairs. Simple, that is 8 bivalents. Since each chromosome in the pair consists of 2 sister chromatids, each bivalent contains 4 chromatids, that is 8 times 4 is equals to 32. Next, in the anther of a flower, a microspore mother cell, that is a MMC, undergoes meiosis to produce microspores. If the MMC has 24 chromosomes, how many chromosomes will be present in the generative cell of the resulting pollen grain? The options are 48, 24, 12 and 6. Now the answer is C, that is 12. The MMC2N undergoes meiosis to produce haploid microspores, and the microspore then undergoes mitosis to produce the vegetative and generative cells. Since mitosis maintains the chromosome number, the generative cell remains haploid, that is N is equals to 12. Next, how many total meiotic divisions are required to produce 100 seeds in a typical angiosperm? Okay, 100, 125, 200 and 400. The answer is B, that is 125. In female, to get 100 eggs, you need 100 meiotic divisions, since only 1 out of 4 megaspore survives. Clear? In male, to get 100 pollen grains, you only need 25 meiotic divisions, since 25 times 4 is equals to 100. That is, total is equals to 100 plus 25 is 125. The next question, starting with 100 primary spermatocytes and 100 primary oocytes, what is the total number of functional gametes produced at the end of gametogenesis? So A, 400 sperm and 400 eggs, B, 100 sperm and 100 eggs, C, 400 sperm and 100 eggs, and D, 200 sperm and 50 eggs. The right answer is C, that is 400 sperm and 100 eggs. In males, one primary spermatocyte undergoes meiosis 1 and 2 to produce 4 functional sperms. Okay. In females, one primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1 and 2 to produce 1 functional egg and 2 to 3 non-functional polar bodies. Is that right? Next, in pea plants, yellow seeds Y are dominant to green seeds small y, and round seeds capital R are dominant to wrinkled seeds, that is small r. A plant with genotype capital Y small y, capital R small r is self-pollinated. Out of 800 offspring, how many are expected to have green and round seeds? Options are 50, 150, 300 and 450. The right answer is B, 150. Why so? Using the 9:3 ratio, 3:1 ratio for a dihybrid cross, yellow is to round is 9, 9 is to 16, yellow is to wrinkled is 3 is to 16 and green is to round is 3 is to 16 and green is to wrinkled is 1 is to 16. So calculation is 3 by 16 into 800, that is 150. Next, an organism has the genotype this, and how many types of gametes can this organism produce, and what is the probability of producing a gamete with the phenotype small a, capital B, small c, small d, small e. Now the options are 4 types, probability is 1 by 4, 8 types, probability is 1 by 8, 16 types, probability is 1 by 16 and 32 types where probability is 1 by 32. The right answer is B, that is 8 types, probability is 1 by 8. Now the number of gametes, use the formula 2 into n where n is the number of heterozygous loci. Here A, C and E are heterozygous, n is equals to 3, so 2 into 3 is 8. Probability, since there are 8 equally likely types of gametes, the probability of any specific combination like A, capital B, small c, small d, small e is 1 by 8. Okay. The next question is, 3 genes A, B and C are located on the same chromosome. The recombination frequencies between them are as follows. A and B is 8%, B and C is 15%, A and C is 23%. What is the correct linear order of these genes on the chromosomes? So the options are A to B to C, then B to A to C, then A to C to B, or C to A to B. Well, the correct answer is A, that is A to B to C. To solve this, look for the largest distance first, that is A to C is equals to 23. This tells you A and C are the end points. Then place B in between. Since A is to B is 8 plus B is to C is 15 is equals to 23. The order must be A to B to C. Next question is, in the given food chain diagram, if 20,000 joules of energy is available at the producer level, what amount of energy reaches the third trophic level? So, the options are 2000 joules, 200 joules, 20 joules or 2 joules, and the correct answer is 2, that is 200 joules. Okay, so you have to understand the trophic levels and how energy gets transferred at each of these levels. Okay, next is question number 11, that is, analyze the given pedigree chart showing a specific genetic trait. If the unaffected individuals second 2 and second 3 marry, calculate the precise probability that the first child will be a female affected with the same genetic disorder shown in the pedigree. Okay, the options are A, that is 1 by 9, second is 1 by 18, 3 is 1 by 4 and fourth is 1 by 8. Again, you need to learn how to solve the pedigree charts quickly and let me know in the comments how did you solve this and what is the correct answer. The correct answer is actually second, that is 1 by 18. Just tell me how you guys will solve it. Now for question number 12, study the pedigree analysis and find that the trait is autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, X-linked recessive, X-linked dominant and X-linked recessive. Okay, again you need to solve this pedigree chart. The right answer over here is autosomal dominant. Next question number 13, a pedigree is shown below for a disease that is autosomal dominant. The genetic makeup of the first generation is. So you have to solve this again and see which is the affected one, which is the non-affected individual, and what type of gene could be present. Well, the correct answer for this is your option number 2, that is capital A, small a and small a, small a. Okay, now moving on to the next question. In a double-stranded DNA molecule, adenine constitutes 22% of the total nitrogenous bases. What is the expected percentage of cytosine in this DNA sample? The options are 22%, 44%, 28% and 56%. The correct answer is 28%. How so? If A is 22%, then T must also be 22%. That is total A plus T accounts for 44%. The remaining amount for G plus C is 100%. So 100% minus 44% is equals to 56%, and since G is equal to C, then C is equals to 56% divided by 2, that is 28%. Okay. You need to be very quick with these, because if your concepts are very crystal clear, then you will be able to solve these questions in no time. But if you are not clear with your concepts, then these questions are definitely going to take time. Next question. In a typical human diploid cell, the total number of base pairs is approximately 6.6 into 10 raised to power 9 base pairs. Okay. If each nucleosome repeat unit consists of 200 base pairs, how many total nucleosomes are present in the nucleus? So these are the options. And the answer is 3.3 into 10 raised to power 7. Now how did we calculate it? To find the number of nucleosomes, divide the total base pairs by the length of one nucleosome unit. That is 6.6 into 10 raised to power 9 base pairs divided by 200 base pairs per nucleosome. That is 3.3 into 10 raised to power 7 nucleosomes. Okay. This is again easy. Now, next question. If the experiment described above continues for 3 generations, that is 60 minutes in the N14 medium, what will be the ratio of hybrid DNA to light DNA? So, these are the options, and the correct answer is 1:3. How will you do it? First of all, we have one heavy molecule. Then generation 1, we have 2 hybrid molecules. Then generation 2, we have 4 molecules, that is 2 hybrid and 2 light. In generation 3, we have 8 molecules, that is 2 hybrid and 6 light. So the ratio becomes 2 hybrid is to 6 light. That is 1:3. Next question. In a population of 1000 individuals, 160 show the recessive phenotype for a certain trait. Assuming the population is in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, what is the frequency of the dominant allele? These are the options, and the correct answer is C, that is 0.60. First of all, you have to find Q square, that is the recessive phenotype, that is 160 divided by 1000, that is 0.16. Then find Q, that is the recessive allele. We have to take the under root of 0.16, that is 0.4. Then find P, that is, since P plus Q is equals to 1, then P is equals to 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6. Next, question number 18. In a pond, there were 40 lotus plants last year. Through reproduction, 16 new plants were added. Taking the current number to 56, what is the birth rate of the total population? So the correct answer is A, that is 0.4 offspring per lotus per year. So how did we calculate this? The birth rate is calculated as number of births divided by initial population. So number of births were 16. Initial population was 10. So 16 divided, it was 40. So 16 divided by 40 is 0.4. Now, question number 19 is, a population of 500 rabbits in a field has an intrinsic rate of natural increase, that is small r, of 0.05 per month. If the population is growing exponentially, what is the increase in the population size after 1 month? So the correct option is B, that is 25 individuals. Now how did we calculate it? You have to use the formula for exponential growth, that is dn by dt, which will give you Rn. So dn by dt is equals to 0.05 into 500, that is 25. Okay. Now, question number 20. A population of beetles is growing in a lab culture following the Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth equation. Intrinsic rate is equals to 0.1. Current population is 800. Carrying capacity is 1000. So what is the population growth rate, that is dn by dt, at this moment? So the correct answer is 16 individuals per unit time. So we have to use the logistic growth formula, that is dn by dt is equals to Rn into k minus n divided by k. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to calculate the environmental resistance, that is 1000 minus 800 divided by 1000, which will give you a value of 200 divided by 1000, that is 0.2. Then you have to multiply it by Rn, that is 0.1 into 800 into 0.2, which is going to give you 80 into 0.2, that is 16. Hence the option C is correct. So that was all for this conceptual part, and I hope you remember these.